I have a great respect for Laura, and she's tried hard for us. There's nobody else got us down to Parliament to tell Lord Ridley that he was talking bollocks.
What I've witnessed as the Member of Parliament for North West Durham and now as the candidate is a series of attacks on our community.
The communities are kind of becoming more split and we're losing that kind of soul of the community, especially since the devastation of Thatcherism. We've been let down so long by so many disastrous Tory governments.
Hard-working people here have borne the brunt of a global financial crisis and then the decision to shrink the state essentially under a Tory government with their Liberal Democrat coalition partners. Our hospital has been a threat in Shotley Bridge.
Obviously as a mother my big concern when they're little is the healthcare. A service which had been run out of our GP surgery was going to be cut and going to be closed. If we didn't have it here in Stanhope in the village, people from further up the Dale might have to travel for sort of a 50-mile round trip. For
the last 9-10 years under a Conservative government, the National Health Service has been on its knees really.
They have had thoughts of privatising it, haven't they? There's no two ways about it. They will trot abroad to Donald Trump and Don will do a tremendous deal with them and it'll be very good for Donald and it won't be good for us. It's a sad job when you've got a man like Boris in leading it, isn't it? Let's be honest, it takes disingenuous to a fine art, doesn't he? Because he does not want it for the working man, does he? His only thought of Brexit is how to make money out of it. And there's a few people who will make a lot of money out of this. We are where we are, aren't we? We're run by idiots.
The people who made this decision that I was concerned with, I don't think they understood the geography, I don't think they understood the character of the people, I don't think they understood anything about the area. The north generally it just gets left behind, and I just think that, you know, government doesn't really care about the north necessarily, or families, or poorer people, or anything really.
Some of the best schools in the country here are struggling to afford pencils, resources, or having to make teachers redundant, teaching assistants redundant.
My mum's a teaching assistant, my dad's a nurse and I'm a student, so it's kind of a triple whammy of being kind of neglected by the government.
The sixth form's closed down, so kids are now having to travel out, sometimes 2.5 hours a day, my own kids included. The bus passes are no longer free. It's having an impact on their life and their life experience.
Through school funding cuts, we've already lost the sixth form. Public transport is an issue for people around because the price of the buses to get from here to the next local town is £7 return. If you're on a low income or you're getting benefits, how often are you going to be able to afford to pay £7 to go?
One of the things that has been the hardest actually as a Member of Parliament is listening to grown men and women break down in tears at the way their life has become, not through the individual fault of their own, but through circumstance and through a system that actually doesn't provide that safety net or that comfort to people in their time of need.
Universal credit is sending people to our local food bank. Most of the people that come in have come in because they've been put on universal credit and obviously have no money to feed their kids. In 2019, when children aren't being fed because they can't afford to buy food, it's just devastating.
This Labour Party is committed to the eradication of in-work poverty. No other political party is even talking about that. So people working really, really hard, 2, 3, sometimes 4 jobs just to make ends meet, but still not able to pay that bill at the end of the month or having to take out debt, sometimes really dangerous debt. It doesn't have to be like this. We have seen governments before who have had such ambitious plans. Out of the ruins of World War II, the NHS was created. What we are suggesting in this manifesto of hope and real change, is perfectly achievable. I know how much everyone in North West Durham would directly benefit from this. Rather than being scared and worried about the state, justice would be put at the heart of the social security system. We'll properly fund the NHS, we'll properly fund schools, we'll end academisation, we'll end privatisation in the NHS. Imagine that.
Yeah, we really have been sort of left out in the cold cuts and things. They're happening all over the country, but I feel specifically for our area that we need to be listened to, and we need to have somebody who's going to look after this area.
Nothing that we are suggesting is unachievable. Everything we are proposing is rational, it's sensible, it's fully costed. We can afford this. We can afford a brilliant NHS. We can afford brilliant schools.
I feel like now we've got a real opportunity to move forward with a hopeful vision for the country and for our community as well. This is, I think, the most important general election, certainly of my lifetime, because it maps out exactly which way we want to take our country. Do we want to elevate people to a position where they're not going to be working but still in poverty? Do we want to help our children to have the right resources in school?
I just want you to imagine this. Imagine waking up on the 13th of December. People voted the whole day before, and you wake up on the 13th of December and you know then that there is a government in place, a Labour government in place, who is finally on the side of working people, that they are not interested in making you fear them. They're not interested in a really harsh, cold system that really is about selling off our precious services to the private sector. They are on your side, they are with you, they are interested in you and want your life to be absolutely brilliant in this country and in North West Durham. The mood of the nation would lift, there would be hope in our future.
Our vote isn't just for us, although we cast our vote ourselves. It's for everybody in our community. And if we're voting like we're the poorest and most vulnerable people in our community, then we're going to get a better community as a result of that.
The last thing I'd say to everyone in North West Durham who will go and place their vote, place your vote in somebody who has worked tirelessly for this community. I live in this community. I have a vested interest in this community. I want it to thrive. I want the people here to thrive. And I just think we deserve better. We deserve better than what we've had after a decade of the Conservatives in power.